Hi, I'm Sarah Avanessian and I teach English at Hart High School in Newhall, California. So today we're going to be working on a protocol. For this protocol, the students are going to be in groups of 4 and they're going to be requesting feedback about a research project that they've been doing. For this particular research project, they have started with driving questions and a topic that they want to consider. And now they're going to ask for either feedback about a new direction they want to go in, or they're going to detail some of the research that they've done so far and ask just whatever feedback that they want to get out of this discussion today. So a protocol is a very formalized, structured way for students to collaborate around a topic and dive deeper into the topic. For 5 minutes, the presenter is going to just present to the group. The group cannot speak during this time and they're just going to be taking notes. And then there's going to be a little Q&A session where the group asks the presenter for information so that they can then take on the topic as their own and explore it a little further, which is what happens during the next 5 minutes. After that, the presenter will be able to respond to the group, but the presenter cannot speak while the group is improving the work. At the end, they do a little debrief and give their thank yous and then move on to the next presenter.
Reading for my TED Talk is called A Force More Powerful, and it's about a century of nonviolent conflicts to lead to actual change. And like all the chapters are about different protests throughout time, and I thought it'd be very interesting and good insight for putting together my TED Talk. Finding articles for this have been pretty easy because it's a very current topic, because politics are kind of a constant thing, so it's not like I have to go back a bunch of years to find stuff. Most of the articles I've seen have been pretty reliable because big news sources have been doing articles about peaceful protesting. A success I've had so far is liking the topic that I'm doing. That way I can actually like put effort into it and like appreciate what I'm finding and be motivated, I guess, to continue working on it. A challenge I've encountered was how to start the actual presentation. I haven't started my paper or my like script or anything yet, and I don't know how I'm going to start that. One of my questions was like, kind of what should my focus be? I don't know whether or not to focus on just the idea of peaceful protest or more the argument of whether or not it's effective. Oh, I also don't know what next steps to take because I have some research, but I don't know how to compile it into like a written speech or essay. Another thing I was wondering was like, I've been to protests and I don't know whether or not that's something I should include and talk about because I don't know if that would be too biased.
I'm going to put 2 and see how it goes. You will be able to ask clarifying questions. Don't forget that in your notebooks you have the probing questions to help you if you're looking for some question stems there.
I wanted to know, like, what is your definition of like a peaceful protest?
I mean, peaceful protest can be like of any size, really. It could be like a strike or like a sit down or a walkout. But there's also like the really big ones, like the Women's March on Washington, and that one was really big all over the country and like all over the world, basically. And so I just think a peaceful protest is something that anybody can do, no matter what side of the spectrum you're on for politics, but just fighting for something but without having to hurt anyone is what a peaceful protest is.
I mean, I don't like what do they do in peaceful protests and like how long do they usually take? 'Cause, like, I know a lot of people just see like people with like signs and they think that they're all just like going crazy, but like is there something more behind it?
It depends. The ones with like the signs, like if the people are marching, there's normally like a person at the end or the beginning that's like talking to everyone about the topic. But there's also like there's hunger strikes where people just don't eat, and that's like you're hurting yourself, but you're not hurting other people to get your point across. So there's like a lot of different types, but it's not always like such a crazy like thing. Like for the ones with the signs, normally people are just walking and like they're yelling, but it's not supposed to be negative.
So she can maybe like tie in the facts, but also like I'm not sure like if she want to focus more on the facts than like the personal experience, but it's always good to like because some people don't relate to some people just don't care about like the personal emotional side of things. So if she brings in some facts to be like more like validating her argument, that would also be good to show like,
Because like we wouldn't know that.
Right.
Like we've never been to one, so we don't know the difference between it. We just see the whole picture.
Right.
So I think it'd be good to talk about that, so that people that haven't been to one can understand that too.
And a lot of the like motivation questions. Personally, I'm motivated to go to them because I can't vote, and I feel like there's nothing else I can really do at this point besides go and protest and at least like try to make my voice heard, because if I could vote, I would still probably be going to protest though. So I don't know, but a lot of people go to protest or hold protests because they feel like there's nothing else they can do, or they feel like their vote doesn't count, so they try to make their voice heard again, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
When you're doing that, you can talk about like why you want to make a difference, because a lot of people, especially our age, they don't really care about anything else other than like themselves and like their friends. So like if I was like on my free weekend, I probably wouldn't go to a protest, and so like
It's me time. I don't care about.
So in order to prepare for this project and the eventual TED Talk that the students will be doing, I let them choose topics. Sometimes too much choice is really difficult for them, so in order to narrow down a topic, I had them go to their writer's notebooks and look at the themes that they've been writing about all of the year. I had them make a column of things that they know really well, things that they're experts in, but then another column for things that they're curious about, things that they want to know more about. And then that really helped them narrow the topics down. We had a lot of collaborative discussions like this where they could talk to their peers about ideas that they had. They're also actually keeping blogs, and on the blog they detail a little bit about their projects and get feedback from their peers as well.